Hello, good evening, Biafrans all over the world. I want to welcome each and every one of us to this wonderful episode today. We will be having the head of Directorate of State, Mazi Edoziem, who will be talking to Biafrans. We want to welcome Biafrans all over the world to this great program this evening. And in the next few minutes, I'll be handing the microphone over to the head of Directorate of State, Mazi Edoziem, as he addresses and communicates to Biafrans. Stay tuned and remain blessed.
Right. Thank you so much, Mazi Patrick Ikem. I believe you can hear me properly. Today, the 21st of June, 2026, being an Eke day, I send my and men and women of goodwill. My name is Mazi Edoziem. I am from Ihe-Oma. Ihe-Oma is in Olo province of Biafra land. And it is only by the grace of Chukwukikabiam and the gods of our land that I serve the indigenous people of Biafra in the Directorate of State as the head of Directorate. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you who have joined us today on this very crucial and important broadcast depending on your time zone. Tonight's broadcast will focus on very specific but key areas and issues affecting the Biafran people and the Biafran nation generally, and of course, the IPOB global family in particular. Permit me to begin this tonight's broadcast with the number one very key and current issue affecting us as a people, which is the security of our homeland, Biafra, and how we can secure that homeland and its people. I wish and I ask that those who are close to the governors in our land, those who know their assistants, personal assistants, and advisors should tag them on this very broadcast tonight. Because we all have a role to play in dealing with the issue that has confronted us, continue to confront us, and will confront us as we march ahead to our freedom. The governors in the entirety of states in Biafra land must take their core responsibility of securing the lives and properties of those under their respective jurisdiction. They must take the security of their lives, security of their properties into serious account, if truly, and if indeed they are the chief security officers of their respective states, as we are meant to believe. I therefore call the governors from Abia to Akwa Ibom, Anambra to Bayelsa, Cross River to Delta, Ebonyi to Enugu, and Imo State to River State. If they are not aware, let tonight's broadcast be a reminder of my message on the 30th day of May 2026 as we were honoring our great heroes and heroines. I can remember I said that the year 2026 will be not only a very difficult year for our agitation as a movement, but a very dangerous one for our people and for our land. As we speak, our land has been in different parts violated and invaded by Islamic jihadists, by Fulani herdsmen, by those they call bandits and the rest of them. These things are happening in these, our states, and our governors, they sit in their offices. Some of them, let's give it to them, probably with good intention. Some of them will set up security vigilantes. But instead of these vigilantes to face the security problem that is confronting our people, they will turn their weapons against those whom they are meant to secure their lives and their properties, and they leave the invaders to run free, unchecked, unconfronted. When IPOB asked the governors of the need for a concerted effort to preserve our land and protect our people. They prevaricated. They actually abdicated their duty, and this led to the coming of the Eastern Security Network. And immediately we formed the Eastern Security Network. They woke up from their slumber and began to create mushrooms of vigilantes here and there. Before then, they were sleeping. They had done nothing. And Eastern Security Network came in, and they remembered that they should protect those whom they are serving. It wouldn't be a problem if these security networks that they created, if these vigilantes that they created will be working in sync, in cooperation with the ESN for the same objective for which ESN was set up. We didn't create ESN to challenge the governors or challenge anybody who is in the politics. What Eastern Security Networks was created for, its primary objective, its primary responsibility, its primary duty was to confront head on the invasion of our land. We have seen, we have heard, time without number. Our women, our mothers cannot go to the farm. People who went to the farm, we saw decapitation of female and male youths, mothers, old and young. Decapitation, what was known to be abominations in our land, took root. The governors were there. They did nothing until the Eastern Security Network came in and they remembered. Fine. Why I'm saying this today is that if they do not rise up to the occasion, if they continue to abdicate their responsibility, if they continue to neglect the main objective of being the chief security officer of a state, any further killing of our people, and like I said, from Abia to Akwa Ibom, Anambra to Bayelsa, Cross River to Delta, Ebonyi to Enugu, and Imo to River State, any further kidnapping, killing for ransom, kidnapping for ransom, killing, and attacks on our farmland and our women by the Islamic jihadists and Fulani herdsmen and the terrorists that we know, whom the Nigerian government have decided to move down to our land. We are going to hold the governors responsible. Each and every one of them, each of the states, we are monitoring them. We are monitoring the activities of these murderers. And we are monitoring what the governors are doing. And I am telling them today, the 21st of June, 2026, that we are not going to forget. And the land of Biafra will not forgive. I am not giving them a threat. I'm telling them the honest truth. What will happen in the nearest future. Specifically, the governor of Anambra State and the governor of Ebonyi State, these two states, as I speak to you tonight, they have willingly and unashamedly accepted to bring in and build what they called military barracks for the army in Anambra and in Ebonyi State. As we speak, the one in Ebonyi State is going on without let. And you see what they're building there. You will be asking yourself, where do they have all this money from? The saddest part of this situation is that these facilities, none of these facilities from so-called the presence, what they will call the presence of the Nigerian government in our land, none of them is a military what do I say now? What normally you say? Maybe where there is a training center or a school. Those kind of military facilities they have in Makurdi and Bauchi and the rest of them in the north, and just name them. Real military facility. These things that are being built in Anambra and Ebonyi State, it is none of this. These facilities is also not being built for the army, for, so to speak, the Nigerian army. No. They are the facilities that are being constructed for those reabsorbed Boko Haram members by the Nigerian army. They are reabsorbing them in the army, and they are building facilities in our land to ship these unrepentant, I repeat, they are absorbed or they reabsorb or they, whichever word you use, they have. Many of them never were members of the Nigerian army. After they committed all the atrocities, some of them were arrested. None, not one of them have we seen being brought to court and tried according to the crime they have committed. Not one of them have rejected their philosophy, their ideology. What are they fighting for? They are jihadist organizations fighting for whom to convert forcefully into Islam. That is their prerogative. But in our land, the land of Biafra, anyone who knowingly or unknowingly is facilitating the move and the integration of these Boko Haram members into our community, we will take account of that. And we will hold you accountable because we know what is coming. I said, and I repeat, there is war that they are trying to bring into our land. The Biafran question, according to them, has not been resolved. It has not been resolved in the way they want to resolve it. The final action to resolve this Biafran question is what is going on now, and this is the different axes that they are coming. And our governors are willingly assisting them. Tukwabiama will bear us witness, and the land of Biafra will bear us witness, that at the appropriate time, we will hold you accountable. We will not forget. The land of Biafra will not forgive. Ask yourself, the only facility, the only federal government presence that the Nigerian government is willing and ready to bring down to the east is anything that we do with the army. Why are you suffocating a region that has no violent issue with a plethora of military personnel that each kilometer on our roads is manned by these murderers and bloodsuckers. The harassment going on in our land that we have kept quiet is because we have allowed the state governors to do what they have been so-called elected to do, to take their responsibility fully into account and into action. That is why we have allowed them, so that nobody will say that IPOB did not allow us to work. We have allowed you people to do what is right. But it is not that we don't know when and how we can come in at the appropriate time. Because we will definitely come in, and we will definitely act when the time is ripe for that. Therefore, those youths in our land, the Biafran youth, many of you who in your communities, you have brought yourself together as a vigilante. Do not work under the control of the state government. The majority of them are there as the eye and the ears of the Nigerian government. There is a very sad and sorry situation that happened in Akwa Ibom State very recently. Very recently. Just for us to understand what is at stake and why each and every one of us, it has become our responsibility. It has become our duty that we must all see the securing of our land as a work that all of us must join our hands to make it a reality. In Akwa Ibom State, there were a report that certain terrorists were arrested. The governor of the state is aware of this. The governor of the state, we are told, is the chief security officer of that state. These murderers were arrested and they were handed over to the police with 18 AK-47 rifles. 18 AK-47 rifles. They were handed over to the police. And before you say Jack, before you count 1 to 2, we heard that an order came from above, or came from below, or came from heaven. It doesn't matter. But that an order was given that these merchants of death must be set free, must be released. These are not army personnel. They are neither police personnel. They belonged not to none of the Nigerian security apparatus. They were actually not even those that you can say that they have their cattle with them. None. These are pure terrorists that were arrested by the people, by the governor involved, and the police were ordered to release them. Not only to release them, my people, but to also release the 18 AK-47 rifles that we are taking away from them. Can you beat that? Can anybody simply understand what is going on? I am telling all of you, whether the governors like, they can put their head into the sand like the ostrich. What will happen in our land The blood that will be spilled in our land if nothing is done, it will be catastrophic. We are speaking from intelligence. We know what the plans are. We are aware the time they want to begin this onslaught. The governors are there attacking themselves, playing politics. We will ask you questions at the appropriate time. And this time around, we have instances that communities will arrest bandits, kidnappers, hand them over to the police, and the police will release them the following day. But our young men, our children, our youth, who have no weapon, who have committed no crime, only because they are Biafrans, the police will arrest them. The vigilantes of the state will pursue them. They will torture them. They will unalive them, as people will use the word recently. They will murder these young men and women extrajudicially. I can tell you, there was this talk or the news that broke about our men that were moved to Wawa barracks. Those who are in the army, and those also in the security apparatus, they know what Wawa barracks is all about. They know where Wawa barracks is situated. They know that the route to Wawa barracks is a no-go area. The army goes to Wawa barracks in convoy because that is a hotbed of the Islamists. They will take our people to these areas, many that we have no idea, many that we are looking for, many that we believe that they have been killed. They will take them to this place and cut off any communication from their families. Whether they are IPOB member or not, it's immaterial. But they are Biafrans. They are Biafran youth. They are Biafran young men and young women, or young women, as the case may be. And they will undergo hell on earth. The torture that many of them went through, many of them could not come out of it alive. It is our effort, the effort of the Directorate of States of the Indigenous People of Biafra, that even led to the bringing to court some of them that were recently brought to court. Initially, what the army did was they set up an internal tribunal within the Wawa barracks to be trying our people. No legal representative, nothing. Just the individual who have been traumatized, those who have been tortured to the point of death. They will bring them before a kangaroo administrative tribunal and force them under duress to sign whatever that they may have signed. Even these ones that we are brought to court, they are still under duress. But the point is that we know the effort that was put in place, that was put into action to make this a possibility, that they were even brought out in the public, brought out to the court, for us to even now realize that they are alive. When you go through that list, you will see those who have died. We know each and every one of them by name, by their village, by their town, by their state. We know them. They are not data. These are our men. and our young men and our young women. What did they do? They are Biafrans. They are the indigenous people of Biafra. What was their crime, or what were their crime? The crime of these people. They said they wanted freedom, and they had no guns on them, but they are suffering. And our state governors are building. I say, go to Ebonyi State. We haven't seen what Anambra is doing at the moment, but we have information on Ebonyi State. Go to Ebonyi State and see the facility that they are preparing for these Boko Haram reabsorbed into the Nigerian army. Our money, the money that was meant, or that is meant, that is sent to Ebonyi State to deal with the problems of Ebonyi people. Governor Winfrey and his master, Dr. Umahi, David Umahi. My goodness me. What will happen to you guys in Ebonyi? You people will not even imagine what will happen when the time comes. I am therefore calling on all our youth to be ready. To be ready, because it will not be our intention to make our land a battleground, and it will not be a battleground. But we know that they are ready to invade and attack us. But I want to assure them that when the time comes, the West, the East, the North, the South, they will all partake in any crime that they may have committed on the holy land of Biafra land. I will move on to the second point I have on tonight's broadcast, and a very important one at that. And these affect, to a very great extent, the IPOB global movement as a family. I want to inform all of you listening to me this night that when IPOB says or said that we are going to lay a solid foundation, not only for our movement, but for our people, through the institutionalization of our operations. I want to let you know that the issue of building a strong institutional structure for the IPOB did not just start today. It did not start yesterday. It did not start last year. Not even before Mazi, not even during in 2021. Let me just say now, 2021, that Mazi Anakan was arrested. The issue of institutionalization of IPOB structure did not start just 5 years ago. That it is current now is because the time has come. Those of you who have been long and steadfast in this very struggle will definitely remember Dr. Okado, Dr. Emeka Okado, a very fine gentleman with vast knowledge of constitutional law and constitutional law drafting. Myself, Mazi Edoziem, and Dr. Okado, as far back as 2016. 2016, 10 years ago, we spent weeks drafting a charter and a constitution for the IPOB and the Biafran nation. We prepared a document that will revolutionize our movement and make it more accountable to the people for whom of for whom we have brought out ourselves to serve. This document is in my custody as we speak. But what happened? 2026, we waited. By then, Mazi Edoziem was also in, I think he was still in Kuje thereabout. We waited until he came out, and we brought this matter also into his knowledge so that the decision we will take will be properly, will be a consensus of every one of us. We didn't want to actually do anything that will, in fact, we wanted him to be part of it, so to speak. Mazimefo was there. He's aware. He's alive. Okay, I don't know. It's a long time I spoke to him. I hope he's still well. Those who know him should ask him. I traveled to Italy on some occasions, on some other engagements, IPOB engagement. We sat, we met, we discussed. We put time, we put effort, and we brought out a charter and a constitution for the Biafran people and the IPOB as a movement. That document was stillborn. It was stillborn because at the end of the day, for reasons best known to those who should have agreed with its content or with that desire for institutionalization, they kicked against it. We left it. Now, again, time went on, things were being run as they were run initially. And one will begin to ask yourself, this project that we have all committed to, when will it be truly people-oriented? And when will it be truly accountable to the people? When will the institutions be the focus and not me as Mazi Edoziem as an individual or anybody for that matter? Any great nation is run by institutions, not an individual. Then you begin to ask yourself, why will any sane and reasonable person reject making IPOB a movement built upon a strong foundation of properly institutionalized structure? Why? Why will anyone feel threatened because the DOS want to build an enduring structure beyond the whims and caprices of an individual or group of persons who neither understand nor appreciate the journey of liberation which we as a people collectively embarked upon, and for which brave men and women have paid the ultimate sacrifice? Why will anybody be antithetical to this? I wish somebody can tell me, because honestly, it makes no sense to me. We have seen time without number. The reason, the urgency for the institutionalization of IPOB is what we have passed through in the past 2, 3 years, 4 years ago. And I said it on 30th of May, that the atrocities that were committed in some parts of our land were an abomination to the land of Biafra. Alo Kemel. Apologies for those who do not understand Igbo. Alo Kemel na Igbo. Alo Kalo Kemel. Some of them, when you begin to imagine them, you will be asking yourself, who are these individuals? Who are these people? And we saw the media campaign against the movement, against IPOB, irrespective of the fact that we, on many occasions, disassociated IPOB from all these atrocities. Notwithstanding, and despite the fact that we shouted time and time again, we wrote letters to the media to stop attributing this crime to us. It is not, we have nothing to do with this. IPOB as a movement, it is not part of our mission statement, and it can never be. It can never be, because it does not make sense for us to turn our anger on the same people for whom we have set out to liberate. They didn't listen. They didn't budge. They didn't wink an eye, the media and the Nigeria. They continued. Even as we speak, that media onslaught has some effect in the diaspora to many of our family units in different countries. They held it against us that IPOB is committing atrocities in our land. We wrote to them. We explained to them. We showed them our disclaimer from the beginning that we have nothing to do with these crimes. But because it is a project of the Nigerian government, they are at the helm of it. They are the ones who, through their proxies, have instigated this crime and allow those that surrounded Mazi Kanu to willingly play along in order to achieve one singular objective: the destruction of the indigenous people of Biafra movement, the destruction of our security network, the destruction of the Directorate of State, because these are the bulwark. Honestly, if anybody wants to accept it, it's all up to you. These, and of course our media, these four pillars, they are the bulwark of this movement and must be protected at all costs. And we will not in any way, in any shape or form, allow what happened in 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 to repeat itself. That is why we came out and we stand firmly, irrevocably. We stand on the suspension of the office of the leader and the office of the director of Radio Biafra. Why did we do this? Many of you who are commenting on the social media, I believe you and I bet you, many of you did not read that press statement. Even those who are supposed to know, many of you did not read that press statement. You are reacting on emotion. And I ask you, which emotion are you reacting upon? Are you standing and spitting on the graves of those who died in the line of duty, in the line of action? Those men, those women who on their deathbed said, no matter what happens, we must get them Biafra. I'm not talking about those in the 60s. I'm talking about our youths in the present day IPOB agitation. That A lawyer, will wake up, um, one day and and tell us and that he is a legal special counsel, a legal representative to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Therefore, he begin to dabble into something that he has no business whatsoever. That is something he knows nothing about whatsoever. In the affairs of IPOB, because all of them, I'll give you an example. There is the one they called Maxwell. There was a time, if you remember those who were arrested with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu initially, one of the young men who was not even IPOB member was among those that were later granted bail. And do you know who was handling his matter? Maxwell, right? Maxwell, I think that's Maxwell is his name. Yeah, the one with beard after Alawi Jimako. Pardon me, but I believe it's Maxwell that is in the one now that has told us. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told them to join Nigerian politics. These are Maxwell Opara. Thank you so much, Mazi. Thank you so very much. These are the people who will meddle into the affairs of IPOB and come on the media to talk trash. How long are we to keep quiet and allow that nonsense to continue? How long? How long can we allow somebody who says he's a special counsel to come and tell us that a man who is committing crime and killing people in our land, that they are part of what we are doing? How long? In the name of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, in the name, all these crimes, in the name, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Asikwa, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Asikwaro, the leader Asikwaro. Please, when I go into Igbo, forgive me. It is the tension. It is how it comes. That's how I speak it. But these individuals, and of course, people will say, don't talk about the civilian of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why wouldn't we talk about them? Who are they? What are they? What nation are you trying to build? A nation of fiefdoms and what? That somebody, because you are the brother of a leader of a movement, you can take action as it pleases you. Are we in the marketplace? This is a movement, for goodness sake, and a movement for which people have paid the ultimate price. And we suspended, go and read that statement. We suspended indefinitely the position, the office, so that we will know where our problem is come from. Anybody who comes out and uses that position to commit, as we suspended the office and stopped using the pseudonym called Imapawaf, because we saw what was happening. A more powerful, the person called a more powerful, the name that we were using. Somebody will write a press statement from, I don't know, and write a more powerful. And then IPOB, when trouble begins, we will now come to start a damage control. For what? What are we doing? What are we doing? Playing and spitting on the sacrifices of those who have died for this drug. I request and ask those who's supposed to know, go and read that press statement again. It is clear, succinct, and direct. The message is clear. And the message is that we are beginning on time to tell the world, because we know what is about to happen. And as I said, there is a plan afoot to reinstigate in our land crisis. violence. And at the end of the day, because they failed at the first time, and because at that time we were hoping that reason will prevail, but all our efforts were called nonsense. In fact, they were made fun about. We sent someone from the diaspora, a member of the Directorate. When some people talk, why did you visit Mazi Kanu in Sokoto, or did you visit him in DSS? These people are. I'm not the person who used to insulting people, but sometimes you ask yourself, are these people reasonable at all? They make statement that doesn't make sense. Mazi Edoziem, not just me, as a matter of fact. Mazi Edoziem was declared wanted by the Nigerian military and government a couple of years back. I had to, through the same lawyer, the same indefatigable lawyer, the only lawyer that was appointed by the indigenous people of Biafra officially, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, the rest of them parading themselves as our lawyer. Let them show us the evidence that they are appointed or were appointed as IPOB legal representatives. And if they show me that, I will resign as the head of Directorate. It's a challenge to them. The only individual that has an official appointment who have been working tenaciously, unceasingly, to bring men and women out of prisons. Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor was instructed to take the Nigerian government to court. And what happened? He took them to court. And the court gave a judgment on why would they declare me wanted? What crime have I committed? Of course, we know that the judgment was in my favor, but you know, Nigeria they are chronic, um, they are, they are very chronic at disobeying court orders as long as it does not favor them. And so don't tell me because the court has given me a favorable judgment, I should now come to the zoo. I will tell you, you know what will happen at the airport. And I'm not the one who want to sneak into Nigeria. It's not what I'm fighting for. 12 years. This is not about me. 12 years. 12 years. Two digits. I have been in exile. So are also many members of the Directorate. We know that it is only either one of the three things is what is going to happen to a freedom fighter. You are in the grave, you are in prison, or you are in exile. And don't tell me, apart from those who are in the grave, there is no sacrifice that is beyond what they have made, even that of being in exile, which I have made. The hunger to see my homeland, to see my fatherland. You cannot imagine how, something that you want to do and you can't do it. It's beyond what any of you can comprehend. That is what we are talking about. And we are saying that we are not going to prolong the suffering of our people by allowing that loophole of Tom, Dick, and Harry coming out to tell us the leader said that, the leader said this. We are saying Schluss, as the Germans will say, Schluss, fertig. That's over for now. Until further notice, their position remains indefinitely suspended. There is nowhere they said Mazi Kanu has been suspended from IPOB, but that position, you can read what you feel like out of that. Use your senses, use your reasoning. If I know I will check not the war of emotions. IPOB, I repeat, is not a marketplace where everybody is talking and acting from a position that they believe and that are subjectively focused from their own perspective. That is not IPOB. Because nothing will kill an idea faster than the non-existence of the will to do what is right. And we are here to do what is proper and here to do what is right. I think great Biafrans and my comrades, friends of Biafra, I think that what should concern us, the conversation that we must engage at this very critical moment is to ask ourselves this very pertinent question, which is, what type of foundation do we want to lay and hand over to our children and generations yet unborn? Every reasonable person, whether you belong to IPOB family, whether you do not belong, disabuse yourself from emotion. Ask yourself, what type, as IPOB, this IPOB that is Bokwa Bunono, everybody is talking about. What type of foundation are we as a people going to lay and hand over to our children and our generations yet unborn? It is important that we understand that a nation is simply a macrocosm of the foundation it laid at the time of its formation. A nation which Biafra is a nation. Nigeria is not one. Nigeria is a country, a conglomeration of different nations put together unwillingly, without their input, without their say, without their agreement. But a nation, a true nation, is simply a macrocosm of the foundation it laid at the time of its foundation or its formation. We as a people, we as IPOB, we are desirous to extricate ourselves from the shame called Nigeria. That is what IPOB is fighting for, on the one hand, and the other hand, that our people live in freedom and in dignity. And my question now is our longing to exit Nigeria motivated by a desire to recreate the same system from which we are removing ourselves? Is it the intention? Is it the reason why men have died? Why young men have been killed? Why some are in prison? Why mothers have been made childless? Fathers have become widowers and women widows. Is it that children have been made orphans? Is our longing to exit Nigeria motivated by our desire or by a desire to recreate the same system that has held us down in a quagmire for centuries? Ask yourself that question and stop being emotional. We often allude to the truism that Nigeria's problem is both structural and systemic. That is correct. Yes, because the foundation was laid wrongly. When you begin on a wrong premise, your conclusion will definitely be absolutely incorrect or wrong. If our desire, therefore, is to replicate the George Orwellian Animal Farm in the new Biafra, then we should as well not bother. Those who know the animal farm, George Orwell Animal Farm, yes, some are more equal. I know all animals are equal, but some are more equal than the others. What the heck? What a heck, I'll say. Is that the Biafra we are looking for? Where it is not what you are capable of doing, but who you know. The nepotism that is Nigeria personified, is that the Biafra we are looking for? And when we say that IPOB and the Biafra struggle must not be personalized, but institutionalized, that is the foundation we want to lay for the new Biafra. It is our utmost intention to build an equitable nation. It is our desire. It is the hunger in us. The IPOB wants to build an equitable nation. The institutionalization of the IPOB movement is born out of this very conviction that we as a people, we have what it takes to build the foundation of our national existence and create a system that effortlessly operates on the irreducible values of equity, fairness, justice, and truth, and not one that will replicate the inherent contradictions that is the bane and will continue to be the bane of the contraption called Nigeria. Those of you who have been on this journey from the onset will understand the maxim when IPOB says, "Ihe anyị na-eme bụ ihe mmụọ." When IPOB says, "Na ihe anyị na-eme na ọ bụ ihe mmụọ," I hope and I believe that our people will understand what that means and what it tells. The Biafran struggle and the fight for the restoration of the sovereignty of the Biafran nation is both a physical fight and a spiritual one. That is why we say, "Ihe anyị na-eme bụ ihe mmụọ, onye anyị na-achụla aja, ọkwa nnukwu mmụọ ka ọ bụ." Nothing happens in isolation. Nothing. As we trod this earth, nothing happens in isolation. Because if we take the Igbo spirituality into account, we should understand that each and every one of us, each and every one of us, we came with a mission. We came with the assignment assigned to us. Whether you're a man or you are a woman, we were born with a mission. Destiny is not an accident. It is not an accident. And those who try to make their destiny an accident will only continue to run in a circle until they are aware and realize or come to terms with that spiritual maxim that says, "The ihe anyị na-eme bụ ihe mmụọ ka ọ bụ." I will move on to another very important topic. But before I move on, as it concerns the institutionalization of IPOB, three things are key. And three things will be rolled out in the coming weeks and days or months. There will be a proper constitution for the Biafra movement, a proper oath of allegiance, for the IPOB family and the Biafra movement, and a proper pledge, a pledge that we all must pledge as patriotic Biafrans to the Biafran nation. These are coming and will be rolled out at the appropriate time, little by little, because I know our people, you need to feed them gradually. That is why what we do, timing is essential. Timing is key. On this very game of chess, like I said, Ogu Chikainanu, and we must stay focused on that very matter. Now, this brings me to a very important topic that actually is centered on the Biafran entrepreneurs. And I said, Biafran entrepreneurs, the Nigerian government, and wealth creation. This topic will not be long, but I want to drop a message. Those of you who are real entrepreneurs, I want to ask you, you must begin to allow the maxim Akurolno, Okuonya Katalia. You must begin to put that maxim into practice. On those of you who are even outside the zoo, in diaspora, we know that Biafran have men. Biafra has men in numbers who are capable. Our intention is to create the enabling environment in our land, a peaceful environment, so that you can come in and create the jobs that or opportunities that will stop our youth from dying in the Atlantic Ocean, from thinking that everything ends and begins in Europe. Those of us who are here, let the situation normalize. I wouldn't even stay 1 month here before I come back home. Many of us are here, and it is not rosy as people may think. And that is why when somebody visits Biafra land, especially I'm not now talking about the money weight or the heavyweight. Like many of us that are simple workers, we come to Biafra land, highest we spend 2 months, if we can. 2 weeks, 1 month, because it was a budget. We are going to work within the budget we have. If we exceed it, when we return to our base, we will be in problem. The bills will not be waiting for you and the rest of it. So I am appealing to all our Biafran entrepreneurs to imbibe the culture and value of wealth creation in our land. Why am I saying this? A government has the responsibility to encourage its entrepreneurs to create jobs. Government does not create jobs. As we as people, in fact, the only job government will create is those in the civil service that will not pay allegiance to the government in power, but to the nation. Government does not create jobs. It is men with means that create jobs. And when you look at the Nigerian government, tell me, I ask as a question, in any of the trips or state visit that has been embarked upon by presidents upon president, maybe one or two exceptions, that when they make on these trips, they will go along with their businessmen so that the government will use their influence to create a business opportunity for these, our business people, and allow them to grow and expand. Tell me if there is any government in Nigeria that has even taken businessmen along with them, how many Biafran businessmen were part of that entourage? How many Igbo men? Unu anaza ndị billionaire n'ọnụ. Many of you are just you, and you cannot see the handwriting on the wall. And the Biafra nation that we are asking and we are creating is where that money, if you are a rich man in Nigeria, in billions, you will be sure that the Biafran nation, you will make it a double billionaire in Biafra, because nobody else will put you away from the table. We are therefore asking you, make your intentions known. I say it again, because we will not forget. If you people think that we are joking, we are not joking. This Biafra we are pursuing, it will come, and it will come in our watch. We are not going to pass this torch to our children. We are not going to hand over this burden to our children. This agitation is not, we are not, how do they say it again? It is not our work. Freedom fighting is not our work. We individually have our work. But this volunteer work that we are doing, we will bring it to a conclusion, positive conclusion. Therefore, I enjoin our business entrepreneurs, our Biafran businessmen, key into these very, very projects, so that together, and again, we say, no, gidi bugeni ukweze. I ask you, rethink your position, for it will benefit you more than it will benefit myself, Mazi Edoziem. I'm not a businessman. And this brings me to the Isiafu Kwabobu, for those who will understand, the Eastern Security Network. The Eastern Security Network, as all of you know, is the bulwark of our defensive line. We call it defensive line because IPOB was not formed as a violent movement. We have not been violent, proactive, violent, how do we say it now? Attacking for the sake of attacking. We are defending our land, our heritage, our ancestry land from being overrun and being taken over by the jihadists from Twitter Jargon. And that is why ESN was set up. These men, these women who have left the comfort, however little that comfort may be, in the zoo, they have left their comfort and have relocated to be friends and family with wild beasts and wild animals, with mosquitoes and every sort of thing you can find in the forest and in the bushes. These men need your support. They need your support, your moral support, your prayer, Ndị na-aga ọfụnụ a na-aga ọfụnụ a na-etiefa na ekpele. Morning, day and night. They are the reason why the land has not been overrun so far. They are the only people, the only outfit that can defend our land without playing politics with it. That was why the government have tried to disband ESN. We know, some of these things, we are putting them in writing. Books, our books, we will write books about this, about our journey and how we came to the very destination which we are all seeking for, which is an independent, free, and sovereign Biafran nation. We are writing books on that. Certain information that we will not make available here, they will be in our books. But what I'm telling every one of us, these men need your support. Don't tell us when the time comes. Imana, we say that every animal will bleed as much as it has the capacity to bleed. A fowl cannot bleed as much blood as a goat, or a goat a cow. These men rafa based on what is available to them, so that when what is coming comes, don't tell us we say we have ESN. Yes, we have ESN. We are ready to mobilize 50,000 young men and women ready to come into action any moment that we have the proper support to defend our land. 50,000, we are ready to, it won't take us anything to raise them up. They are there already. We have volunteers running into hundreds of thousands. But for the initial stage, we have men who can be activated within the shortest period of time you can imagine. That is why it is key. That is why it is important that every one of us who is desirous of we getting our freedom must support them, and must support them earnestly and without further wasting of time. Now I want to talk about the ground zero, which is the Biafra land. Why I want to talk about the Biafra land is because that is what I like to call the ground zero. That is Biafran, that is where things are happening. And we want to say it in advance so that when it will begin to happen, nobody will hold us accountable, because we warned in advance. The homeland leadership, the Biafra land leadership, is under the authority or leadership of a national coordinator named Mazi Edoziem. And each of the states have their state coordinators. We have in all the states, we have our senatorial zonal coordinators. We have in each senatorial zonal coordinators. The IPOB structure is a complex one. So those who are making effort to come and derail us, you're wasting your time. You can't break that complexity. It is a structure that is tied together but still operating on a level that will not allow what will affect one to be a domino effect on the other. That is the mistake the Nigerian government made. They thought they would arrest Mazi Kanu and then hold him there, and then the struggle with Islam. You waste your time. He told you people he will take you 200 years to penetrate the structure of our baby. And when many of you should listen to him in some of his words, when he told you it will take you 100 years or thereabout to betray, and we are now telling you that the time has come for us to strengthen that structure, that to make it more impregnable. People are yabbing on the social media and talking what they had no idea about. They have no knowledge or understanding of. The homeland security, the homeland leadership, as I was saying, has its structure. And what is about to happen was what happened during the autopilot time. And sometimes we were even magnanimous. There was a time after the whole problem, we were able to to keep the flag flying, to keep the boat on the sea. After we stabilized all the arsenal, all the attack that were thrown at this very movement, we were magnanimous in the sense that we asked those that were deceived to return to IPOB family. Now we are warning you, we are not going to do the same after this very time, because what is going to happen is that we know that some people are being recruited already. They are being recruited to cause confusion in Biafra land. When they recruit you and something happened to you, don't come to us. Don't contact our welfare department. Don't contact our national coordinator. As long as you do not belong to any unit, the lowest level of the structure we have, if you did not belong to any unit but you went rogue and something happened to you, those who sent you, go to them so that they will use their legal department, because somebody told us hmm, that the legal department of RPOB was in their care, that they are in charge. Biafrans, those people who are making this claim, ask them. Let them show you one example, one instance of an IPOB member that they have rescued from the hands of the demonic entity called Nigeria, from the hands of the Nigerian military establishment, whether police or the rest of them. Let them give you one example. But what I'm saying now, today being the 21st of June 2026, is that a repetition of the autopilot scenario in the past year will not repeat itself. Anima makwamili okwamili before zobe. And I am saying it now. Everybody should keep this record. Nobody should tell us that we must bring everybody together, because if you harden your mind and harden your heart and go astray, the sheep that went astray will continue to go astray. You're not coming back to our fold. It is on this note that this leadership is warning those who are trying to duplicate some semblance of structure, if I'll use that word, to be careful. It is our duty to create the environment to secure and enable those that are operating in Biafra land so that they will operate safely. And anyone who goes outside this environment that we are creating, they will be on their own. Going forward, we are going to pass on proper information how those in Biafra land must safeguard themselves. And this information, we will pass it through our appropriate channels down to the unit, because we will do what we have to do to secure and safeguard those in Biafra land. Anybody who is obstinate, that is his own business. We will give you the intel we have, we'll give you the information we have, and we will guide you properly. The rest is up to you, because you're a man and you're a woman, you have the right to make your own decision. Finally, great Biafrans and comrades, finally, this very last message goes to the Nigerian government. Irrespective of our internal, IPOB's internal happenings, irrespective of what we do within this very movement to secure and safeguard and strengthen our structure and strengthen our movement and make sure that we remain focused on the objective, dedicated to our core principles. The Nigerian government must understand that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not a Awolowo. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not Ken Saro-Wiwa. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not Abiola, nor Abiola's wife. Nnamdi Kanu is a Biafran of Igbo descent. Only that will tell you something, the Nigerian government. And I wish to be unequivocal by stating that nothing must happen to him. Our eyes are on your court. We have no time for riffraff. We have no time to come on social media and begin to talk nonsense. Our eyes are on your court. We are monitoring all your activities. We are monitoring the happenings even within your secluded environment. And the DOS will, of course, join issues with Nigerian government at the appropriate time. What I say and what I'm going to repeat is, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a Biafran of Igbo descent. Nothing must happen to him in your custody. Nothing must happen to him through your courts. I'm not going to make a threat, and we don't make threats. But it will be better for Nigeria if they work towards the peaceful disintegration of Nigeria than to choose the path of violent disintegration. History is replicate of situations where an action done against one individual had a catastrophic effect beyond the borders of those who carried out that action. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu bụ onye ka anyị jikwa wee kwere unu. Nothing must happen to him. And I said, irrespective of what DOS is, we will not even be deterred. Of course, we are marching ahead. We are moving ahead with our plans. Nigeria government will not dictate our plans for us. They cannot also think that they have Mazi Edoziem in their custody, that they use him for anything. It is dead on arrival. They must know this and know peace. They must understand that we have crossed the Rubicon. We have gone beyond returning. We have gone beyond retreating. And we are asking them to put the machineries in place for a peaceful referendum for the Biafran nation and the Biafran people to decide solely by themselves if they choose to remain in the quagmire called Nigeria, or if they want to be in their own nation as a free people, as a sovereign nation. A referendum is all we are seeking and all we are asking. A referendum that will be supervised by recognized multilateral institutions. That is all we are asking. And that is what we will get. And therefore, I want to say that our people, our media, please, we want you to bring out the atrocities of Python Dance 1, 2, and 3 in the media circle once more, so that people will understand why and the reason behind our decision to institutionalize IPOB, ask our people to support ESN, and the reason why we have suspended indefinitely the, the office of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra and the position of Radio Biafra, Director of Radio Biafra. Mazi Edoziem, I am not the leader. There is nobody who is the leader. It is the DOS that is the leadership piloting the affairs of this very movement. I just happen to be a head among equal. That's why I go with the appellate head of Directorate. I am not a leader. We have no deputy leader. And we are not going to have any. By the time our constitution comes out, all of you will understand that we mean business. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama, the gods of our land and our ancestors, may they continue to guide us. May they continue to give us the wisdom, because wisdom is above all things. Auche, Ainano. I will repeat to my brothers and sisters who are walking with emotion. This Biafra we are seeking is one in which the foundation shall be a foundation laid in equity, in fairness, in justice, moral uprightness, and in truth. I want to thank all of you for listening to me tonight. And I want to encourage those of you who may be a little bit concerned. Be not concerned. The actions of a lion, no, a leopard. The actions of a leopard. The actions of a leopard is stealth and surprise. I want all of you to continue to remain dedicated, devoted to the core principles of IPOB, because we have come to give our people what they will be proud of at the appropriate time. Thank you so much. And from me, from here, I want to say good night and be well. Thank you so much.